Hello friends, I am Hardik Upadhyay. Welcome to the Python from Scratch lecture series. Here we will look at basics and advanced concepts of Python programming. So in our first lecture, here are the contents that I am going to cover. Introduction of Python, Python interpreter. There we are going to study how to write Python command, basic types, data types of Python, some rules, regulations, and our first Python program. So let us start with the introduction. Python is dynamic and interpreted programming language. Now what does that mean? There are two categories of languages. One is static programming languages, another is dynamic programming language. Perl, Ruby, Python belongs to dynamic category of programming language where it is designed to optimize programmers efficiency, so you can implement functionality with less code. On the other hand, static programming languages like C and C++, they are designed to optimize hardware efficiency so that the code you write executes as quickly as possible. Second term is interpreted programming language. So once again, there are two categories of programming languages like C and C++. They are compiled programming languages. It means it uses compiler program to convert your source code into object code. On the other hand, interpreted programming languages execute the program line by line. It would take less time to analyze, but overall execution takes more time in interpreted language. No intermediate object code for linking and all. It is continuous translation until first error found. So interpreted languages are very easy to debug your program, and it would require less memory. So we can say that Python is a quick and light language. It does not need to declare type of variable or parameter or method. For example, if you want to declare integer variable like in C programming language, then there are two ways: integer a and a equals to 10 to assign value into a variable, or you can use integer a equals to 10. So this is an example of C programming language. If you want to declare a variable in Python, then you can simply type like this way, no semicolon at all, a equals to 10. On the basis of value that you are assigning, type would be identified. So does not declare type of a variable. Python is appropriate for small projects. Code is short and flexible. It is going to skip some of the portions of your code at compile time, so it would take less time for execution. So that is definitely gonna make your Python program faster as compared to other programming languages. As I have explained, whatever value we are gonna assign into variable, on that basis it is going to track the type of the variable. If you would try to access variable without assigning any value, then it is gonna throw an error. Python is a case sensitive, so small a and capital A both are not same, both are different. That was developed in 1991 by Guido van Rossum. It is high level programming language. Various versions of Python's available. Latest version is 3.6. So 3.x, we can say that 2.x, version 3.x are not backward compatible with 2.x. Definitely 3.x is having more library support as compared to 2.x versions, but that is not backward compatible with previous versions. So depending on your requirement, you can go with any version. Now from where to start? So Python is available, official source and setup of Python is available on official website python.org. From there you can download the source code depending on your operating system. Python is available for Windows, Linux and Mac. For Linux and Mac, that is pre-installed. For Windows, you just need to get it from this particular location. For this course, I am gonna use Python under Linux environment, where I am gonna use shell as an interpreter. And to edit my program, I am going to use vim editor or vi editor. Multiple editors are there in Linux, for example gedit, even pico. So depending on your comfort level, you can go with any editor. So let us start whether the Python is installed in your system or not. So I'm having two operating systems right now with me. One is Windows 10, and another is Linux, that is in VirtualBox. So in Windows I have already done the setup. So just go to the start menu, start typing Python, and you would get Python interpreter. Yeah, this is the Python interpreter for Windows. Even for Windows, it provides IDLE editor. This is a smart editor, I would say. So whenever you wanted to write a program under Windows environment, you just need to get the setup file and install it, and that would be available like this way. Now how would you check whether it is available in Linux or not? So first of all, what you need to do, go to the Linux machine and go to the terminal. Now simply type Python, press enter. If you are getting this interpreter, then it is installed. Just to come out from there, we just need to type exit command. So this is the way to check whether the Python is installed or not. Another way is which command, which Python. Basically, which command is going to show you the path where exactly that binary is installed. So Python is installed in user bin directory. So this is another way to recognize whether it is supported under your in your operating system or not. For Red Hat Linux, another command rpm query all grep Python. So it is simply going to query for all the rpm packages that is having Python word. So all Python related packages it has simply listed out. So multiple ways to recognize whether the Python is installed in your system or not. So as far as Python programs are concerned, interpreter, that is the place where you are going to write down your command, statements or command, Python command, multiple command, combined, multiple commands written down in a combined way, in some meaningful direction becomes the program. It is also known as Python script. So these are command, shell and program are the basic elements of Python. So PyInterpreter I have already demonstrated to you like this way. Yeah. So let us go to the Python interpreter once again. Python and enter. Okay. So let me just assign some value into a variable. A equals to, let's say, 6. Enter. So 6 value is assigned into a variable. Now let us just test it whether it is there or not. Yeah, it is there. This type of programming environment is known as REPL, read, evaluate, print and loop. Read, evaluate, print and loop. So that is kind of interactive programming environment that takes single user input, evaluate them and returns the result to the user. So first statement was assigning the value means read. Whenever I want to print it, I have to enter a, that means evaluate. It will give me the output, that is print, and once again I am back to the Python interpreter. So this programming environment is known as REPL. So Python supports REPL programming environment. As far as data types of Pythons are concerned, it supports integer, float, bool, none and string type. Bool contains two values, that are true and false. So let us go with the basic rules and regulations of Python. So let me just open it in a notepad. First is type declaration. So as I have demonstrated, we do not need to declare type of a variable, simply assign value. For example, a equals to 6 was assigned. Now I am overwriting it, a equals to 10. So type of a, if I wanted to check, then it is an integer type. For example, b equals to 20.20. So type of b equals to float. For example, c equals to my name Hardik and type of c equals to string. So depending on the value that we are assigning, it will recognize the type automatically. So no type declaration, just assign to them and go. Another point with this is undefined variable. So undefined variable would throw an error. Let me demonstrate. I have not assigned any value into D type variable. So if I would try to print the value from D, it is gonna throw an error. So undefined variable or functions raise runtime error if code tries to read from variable which has not been given the value. Now another nice feature of Python is multiple assignment. So multiple assignment, we can assign multiple value in single statement like this way: a comma b equals to 10 comma 20. So it is going to assign 10 to a and 20 to b. So multiple assignment is a nice feature supported by Python. We can utilize it as per the requirement. For example, if I am asking you to swap the number without using temporary variable, so in Python we can achieve it in a single statement. How? For example, a comma b equals to b comma a, and here it is b equals to 10 now. Previously 10 was assigned to a, now a equals to 20. So it is quite possible using multiple assignment. As I have explained, Python is case sensitive, so small a and capital A are different. A. So Python is a case sensitive language just like C++ and Java. And over here in Python, end of statement, or I would say end of line, equals to end of statement. Semicolon is supported, but we can say that that is not the best style to program in Python. So Python does not require semicolon at the end of each statement just like C and C++. So we can simply end our line, and that is gonna consider as an end of statement. Now let us try to understand various expressions like arithmetic operations. So how would you perform some sort of arithmetic operations in Python interpreter? So that is quite easy. Suppose if you want to perform addition, then simply 2 plus 3. Subtraction, multiplication, division. 6 divided by 3. So it is quite simple. So you can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulo operations. If one of the type in your expression is float, then the answer would be float. So please make sure about this particular thing. If you wanted to compare two variable, then comparison operators, operators supported by Python are equals to, not equals to, greater than equals to, less than, and less than equals to. So just like C, we can say that. So these are the supported operators, comparison operators of Python. One of the nice features of Python is I can assign string value like this way. For example, a equals to Hardik. A, that is fine. Python is having multiple functions. If I wanted to find out length of the string, then I can easily find it out. For example, if I wanted to concat the string, then I can use plus operator like this way. But this is not gonna help because it does not support dynamic typecasting. We need to explicitly mention that I wanted to concat 5 with string. So 5 is of integer type, so I need to convert it into integer. Without converting 5 into string, I cannot perform that. That's an error. So if I wanted to do this, then I need to typecast my integer into string. So over here, plus operator is overloaded. If you are passing to integer or float kind of value, then it is going to perform addition. If I am gonna pass string value, then it should perform concatenation operation. Let me just demonstrate you. If I am doing string multiply by, let's say, 3, what would be the answer? So in Python, multiplication operator is also overloaded. If one of the type is string, then rather than multiplying it, it will write down Hardik for 3 times. So multiplication operator with string gives you different output. So here are the basic expressions and mathematical operations of Python. So let us get into our first Python program. So I'm gonna run it into Linux environment. So let me just jump to the Linux. Let me just exit it. Clear. Okay. So I'm gonna write down my first hello world Python program into Linux environment. So I'm just gonna open any file and name of that particular file my first prg.py .py. So Python source file uses .py extensions. Okay, so let us just write it. Has, let's say, shebang user bin Python. So the first line is shebang. Now what is shebang? As per Wikipedia, it is a character sequence consisting of hash and explanation sign when it occurs at the first two characters of the first line of text file. So that is the definition of shebang as per Wikipedia. But what exactly it means? So it is used in scripting language to indicate an interpreter for execution. If I am not gonna write down this particular shebang, then whenever I am gonna run this program, my shell would not consider it as a Python program, it would consider it as a shell script, and at that time it is gonna throw syntax error. So I am explicitly telling my shell that to interpret this particular program, go to this directory and use Python interpreter. So that is what shebang is. So after shebang, let me just write down standard boilerplate syntax that calls main function. So this is going to be the entry point of my program. If name of my program definition is main, then call main function. No semicolon needed. And let me just define main function. So hash is useful to comment out the code. Define main function def main and colon tab print hello world. Done. If you would observe over here, have pause space. That particular concept is known as indentation. Programming languages like C uses the concept of braces just to recognize the block of statement. Over here in Python, we are not gonna use any braces kind of thing just to recognize block of statement. Over here, Python uses indentation. So same indentation code would be considered within same block. First line of block would be ended by colon in Python. So exactly means how to define function. What does this boilerplate syntax, that will be explained later on in subsequent lectures, but our first aim is to run hello world program. So here is the program. Let me just explain. This is just a starting point that is known as boilerplate syntax. Actually, what is it? To run our main definition, main function, this boilerplate syntax is something that we put on the bottom of every Python program. Boilerplate code means a piece of code which can be used over and over again. So this is a starting point. From over here it is gonna call main function. So main, yeah, something is wrong, yeah, main, done, and print hello world. Just save it and try to run it. Now how to run our Python program? There are two methods to run it. One is Python and program name, and run it. Some sort of error, as I explained, like in Python, each block, first statement of block would be ended by colon sign. Okay, now once again run it. Now I am getting an output. So this is my first program, hello world. This is one way to execute your program, compilation and execution. Another way to execute your program is / and the program name. But it is showing me an error, permission denied, because in order to execute it just like a script, I need to give execution permission to that particular file. Right now, The permission that is given to this particular program is read write, read and read, no execution permission. So just to change permission, I am gonna use chmod, then my permission, that is 755, and done. Now just check it out, my first program, now it is having X for owner, for user, for other. Okay, now if I am gonna run this, then I am getting an output. So whatsoever shebang function we have used, let me just delete it and let me just try to execute my first Python program. If I am gonna run my program using this method, Python space program name, then it would run fine. But if I would try to execute it like a script, then it is gonna throw an error, because my shell is not in a position to identify those keywords, because right now I am using echo shell bash. So bash is not able to recognize definition of main. That is the syntax for Python programming language. So we need to explicitly tell that you need to use Python interpreter rather than using normal bash shell. So that was the importance of shebang. So if I am gonna write down once again shebang, user bin and Python, then it is running fine. Even shebang can be useful to compile a program using multiple versions, for example 2.6. If you have installed multiple versions of Python, then also you can specify it explicitly in shebang. So here was the first program of Python. That's it. I hope you would like my lecture. If you wanted to give any sort of feedback, just contact me on my mail ID, that is hardik31385@gmail.com. You can follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot.